Yo, what is up, guys? It's your boy MMA Propaholic, and I'm back with another full card breakdown. And I'm going to be breaking down UFC 288. And guys, I'm extremely hyped for this card. I will be attending this card, which I'm so psyched about. This is my first ever pay per view, and the first ever card I went to was UFC Long Island, and absolutely loved that card. Really made me fall in love with MMA, and a month later, I found myself on Bet MMA Tips, started up a Twitter and everything, and yeah, it's been an 8 month ride, and I absolutely love doing this. And let me just go over the results for last week quickly. Was very I was a little happy last week, but at the same time I was mad, and I'm gonna get to why I was mad because we could have went up. I'd probably have to say another unit, but I lost on Julian Erosa at minus 125 for 0.69 units. I didn't think I really did not think he would get sparked like that, but Padilla looked really good, man. He had really crisp boxing, the accuracy, which was crazy. He landed like 7 punches in a row. I honestly, guys, I wasn't even mad at the stoppage because I was honestly more concerned for Julian Erosa. Like, I don't know, man. His chin is dust now. DeLima, we cashed DeLima at minus 135. Cashed that for 0.75 units. We put 1.01 units on it. Yeah, like breakdown was accurate. I knew DeLima was gonna kick the legs. I knew he can mix into wrestling, but I mean, my goodness. Credits to Akasa because I think they gave what was it 34 leg kicks that he landed. So yeah, credits to him. I hit Cody Durden at plus 170 for 0.71 units, but it didn't matter because I cashed out Charles Johnson minus 135. That's what I was seriously mad about with myself. I just thought the cardio was gonna be way worse for Durden, but he really did prove me wrong in that fight. And now we get to the props, which the props went up 1.77 units on props, so it was a good night for props. Cashed the under 2.5 in the Sergey Pavlovich fight, which carried over from that week. I got a nice 0.37 units out of that. Stephanie Edgar under 2.5 at plus 31, cash for 0.85 units. I lost on the Johnson sub, 0.11 units at plus 1,000. I hit the under 1.5 in the Vieira Brundage site. Thank you, Cody Brundage, for making the worst mistake you possibly could have made against a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I appreciate you for that. And in the Brahalo versus Olachisek fight, we cashed the under 2.5 for 0.76 units. Lost on Newson sub/decision at plus 165 for 0.31 units. Lost on Josh Quinlan, which I mean, I don't know why, and I don't know what made me bet Josh Quinlan. I think it was just the way that Waters leaves his chin up, but lost 0.40 units on that. That was a collab pick with pick by Pegasus. We'll be back this week though. I'm confident in that. And I lost two little sprinkle bets on Johnson sub 2 at plus 2,500 and Johnson sub 3 at plus 3,300. But yeah, guys, I just realized that I didn't even mean to go live, and I'm live. So, yeah, this is my first ever live breakdown video. So yeah, let's get straight into it. First fight of the night, we got Daniel Santos versus Johnny Munoz Jr. And yeah, great fight here. Santos 5'7", 67-inch reach. Munoz 5'9" with a 71-inch reach. I bet Daniel Santos here. I bet him at minus 147 for 1 unit. I just feel like the pressure of Santos is going to be too much for Munoz Jr. to handle. Like, Munoz Jr. hasn't really been facing like high pressured fighters, like high volume fighters. Ludovic Shalanian, I think, is pretty awful. He's a grappling based guy, and he doesn't really have any head movement. He's very flat footed on his lead leg. Tony Gravely knocked him out with an insane uppercut, which Munoz just was running away, and he just got caught. And he subbed Jamie Simmons. I mean, Jamie Simmons sucks, so that just really didn't really impress me at all. And he actually had a hard time getting Simmons down, and I would say the first 3 minutes of that fight. But Simmons kind of doesn't even have good takedown defense to begin with in the UFC. And he lost to Nate Maness, and that Nate Maness fight, like, I don't like Johnny Munoz's hands. And that Nate Maness fight was in 2020, and Shalenian was like, I would say 2.5 years later. And I I don't know. I just Munoz' wrestling doesn't impress me. But I mean, when he gets your back, you're more than certainly gonna get subbed. This is going to be Santos' toughest test, I would say, on the ground in jiu-jitsu level and so far in the competition of his career. But I really like this kid Santos. I mean, he's a black belt under Diego Lima, and that just really caught my eye because I mean, Munoz' only path to victory in my mind is a submission or just riding back control, cage pushing Santos. But like Santos isn't going to allow that, man. And I had Santos against John Casadena at plus 170. I mean, the guy almost died like 3 times, but he fought for my money, man. And I was still shocked with to this day when I looked at the track bet. I was still shocked that I got him plus 170. The guy this guy Santos isn't a joke. He's training with Oliveira. He's training with all the best grapplers in the world, and he trains with forward pressure people. I think he's gonna break down Munoz. I think Munoz is honestly pretty screwed here. As you can tell, the line has significantly moved in Santos's favor, which I completely agree with. I saw a minus 147. I was shocked. I don't have it tracked yet because I completely forgot to tweet out the bet, and I feel horrible because I beat a lot of line movement. I bet the Santos and Munoz under 2.5 at half a unit at plus 122 because I mean the fact that they even opened a plus money under in a Daniel Santos fight, especially when Munoz can get a submission. And Munoz has pretty shitty cardio. He's really not good on the feet, guys. He's meat and potatoes. I think Santos is going to break him down. I think Santos is honestly going to destroy him. But would it shock me if Munoz got the submission? No, but a little bit because Santos is training with the right people in order to be prepared for a guy like Munoz. And I just hope like Daniel Santos isn't aggressive, like trying to have an aggressive guard willing to lose minutes because he trains jiu-jitsu off his back. But I really think he should cruise here, honestly. I think this is a really good spot for him, and I think the UFC is doing him pretty well here. But let's move on to the next fight. We got Joshua Holmes versus Claudio Ribeiro. And yeah, no bet for me here. I Joseph Holmes doesn't really impress me, but he has pretty good takedowns, I would say. He has pretty good back control. Ribeiro swings everything for defense in the first round, and then I mean the guy kind of falls off a cliff after that, so his cardio really questions me. But in the first round, this guy's intimidating. He throws everything into the calf kicks, and if he could slow down Holmes's movement in round one, he's gonna really make Holmes question himself and coming in, and if he should really take the shot for the takedown. But I mean, I trust me, I really wanted to bet Holmes here, but losing to Jamie Pickett and like rewatching that fight, right after that fight, I'm like, there's no shot. There's just no fucking shot. I bet Joshua Holmes. And I watched Ribeiro's film and I watched a 5-round fight, and it's like his cardio didn't even look horrific there. Like, which I was like a little shocked, but against El Hassan, he gassed. He got cage pushed, and I didn't like that look at all because if Joseph Holmes gets a grip of him and he gets under the butt and he gets the underhooks and he gets him down, I don't really know how Ribeiro is going to be with his getup because, I mean, this guy's beating absolute bums. And the first ever, he's been submitted once in his career, but it was his first ever professional fight. But the under 1.5 is now minus 130. I missed plus 118. Then it went to minus 110. This was the last fight I filmed, guys. Like this is probably my least interesting fight, and I'm probably like the fact that I'm even going to this card and I want to bet every single fight, and like this fight, I just don't even want to bet. But I mean, I think Ribeiro has a really good chance here to knock out Holmes early. But if he doesn't knock out Holmes early, I'm more than likely going to be there live. I'm going to be fucking pissed drunk, and I'm going to be probably hammering Joseph Holmes in round 2 because I don't know. Ribeiro sketches me out, man. This guy doesn't have a good all-around game. He's just very good on the feet. I wouldn't even call him very good on the feet. He's pretty crappy striking defense as well. But if it's anyone who's going to knock you out your first time, it's more than likely going to be Ribeiro. And I mean Joseph Holmes, and like this is the last thing I'm gonna say about this fight. Jung Young Park is a really good fighter. Like, I think Jung Young Park is a really underrated fighter in the division. So, like, I don't mind that loss, but I mean, choking out Alan Amadosky in a minute, nothing just really. It's just like you can't get a lot out of that fight. So it's like, yeah, this is a pass for me. But I'm gonna pick Ribeiro to win. I'll say by round two knockout, but not too confident in it. So don't don't bet it. Don't bet it if you guys are tailing me, because that this is something I don't have a bet on. But we can move on for the next fight, fight number 3 on the prelims. We got Zaglas Zamagulov versus Rafael Estevan, and I mean, I shocked with the line. I bet Zamagulov for 0.40 units at plus 160. Zamagulov, the one thing that does concern me is the judges. I mean, but this guy all around, he switched stances. He has great movement on the feet. He he's very good with his jab. He moves in and out, kicks the lead leg. And on the other hand, like Esteban just walks in. He's trying to break you down, but like with a guy like Zamagulov in the movement for a fight like for Esteban, and he's never fought guys. I'm just saying this now. He has never fought anyone out of the switch stance yet. So this is a very new look to him. I think this is more of a step up for Esteban, but Esteban's film, it wasn't bad. It took me about like 30 to 40 minutes to try to find this guy's film. I was stressing the hell out. But in the Felipe Estevez fight, it's like he got knocked down. I think it was in like the first minute and a half or 2 minutes of that fight. But then he just kind of got him in the clinch, grappled him, he took him down. But like Esteban's striking defense is bad. His hands are very low. He eats punches with his face. He really relies on his chin to get you in a clinch, which I don't like at all from fighters. I mean, that's exactly how Brady Heascan fights, and I hate that type of fight style. But you know, he fights like a dog. But like, I mean, the fact that he's minus 190 here is just mind-boggling to me. Knowing that Zamagulov has faced a way better competition, he has beaten Tiger Unalabekov on the regional scenes, and Unalabekov is an absolutely high-paced wrestler. And he does not. He doesn't even have bad cardio either. So that really impressed me because I went back and rewatched that fight, and I thought he beat Paiva. We've seen Albazi's wrestling. We've seen his grappling. Zamagulov didn't look bad there at all either. He didn't even get controlled in that fight. I don't have the control time stats up for that, but he wasn't getting controlled in that fight at all. And then it's like Manel Kopp. I mean, Manel Kopp is fast with his hands. Esteban is not Manel Kopp. He beat Jeff Molina, and he beat Charles Johnson. Let's stop saying that he lost. Tapology changed him to W's. I mean, because I just feel plus 160 is so disrespectful. Could Esteban get this fight to the ground and control Zamagulov? Yeah, of course he can. That's his path to victory here, but I don't think it's going to be easy. And if it's not easy in the first round, and Zamagulov's going that lead leg, and he's getting his respect with his hands because Zamagulov has pop in his hands. So, yeah, I bet Zamagulov at plus 160, and I'm going to take Zamagulov to win this fight by decision. And honestly, guys, I might sprinkle him by split decision because these judges really might just feel god-awful, and they might give him the fight. So, you know what? Screw it. Zamagulov by split decision. Let's move on. Let's see, fight number 4. I have to keep backing out of Tapology. It's pretty annoying. Here we go. We got, we got Ikram. I wish I could even say his last name. I'm not even going to attempt it. Couch Warrior, you can screen record right now and laugh at me. And we got Phil Hawes. I like Ikram's his takedowns, phenomenal. This guy impressed me a lot on film. I heard some people saying that he didn't impress them, which I'm a little shocked. You go watch that Chimaev fight, man. Chimaev couldn't get him down. Ikram actually pushed Chimaev up against the fence, which I've never seen in any of Chimaev's fights. He's been knocked out in his only loss, but like we're all talking about Phil Hawes is such a good striker. When is Phil Hawes striking? Phil Hawes striking is not bad, but it's not insane. So let's stop saying it's 100 times better than Ikram striking. Because Ikram striking is pretty good to me. His takedowns are vicious. when he gets a hold of you, he's getting you down. World Sambo champion. Both of these guys, two completely different wrestling styles. I mean, American wrestling versus Russian wrestling. I give it to Russian wrestling. It's like these guys from Dagestan, they're just different. Phil Hawes has been finished in every single one of his losses, which concerns me. And the only fight that he got hurt against Kyle Dawkins on the feet. He got hurt against Kyle Dawkins on the feet, guys. That concerning. He wrestled Imavov, and that was when Imavov wasn't even really preparing grappling and wrestling. He was a base striker. He said he didn't even train him in that camp. The fact that he said he didn't think Hawes was going to wrestle, which that mind boggled me. But that's another day. Chris Curtis, he got the Chris Curtis fight. Hawes was looking great until he got caught with a left hand and he dropped, and he just fell to the ground. It was a very late reactive knockout, which was very weird. The Darren Wynn was at an 8-inch reach disadvantage, a 4-inch height disadvantage. Darren Wynn possibly is one of the worst strikers I've ever seen in the UFC. Like, it's not a joke. Striking sucks. But I can say this about Phil Hawes. Those lead elbows, if he could cut Ikram up, there's a very good chance that Phil Hawes can get a finish here. Because Phil Hawes has to be vicious. Phil Hawes has to be a dog. I don't like his cardio either, but he's live here. But I bet Ikram, I bet him last week. I'm sorry if I keep saying his name wrong. But I bet him last week. I parlayed him with the Brundage and Vieira fight doesn't go to decision. Put 0.61 units on it. I have basically him at minus 113 to win 0.55 units. Went a little low on him. I didn't really want to go too heavy on him. Just in case Hawes really does come out. I mean, Hawes is from New Jersey. He's going to have a lot of energy coming into this card. So, yeah, this is a great fight. This is one of the more excited prelims that I'm hyped for to see in person. And another bet that really sticks out is I think Fight Starts Round 2 is very parlayable at minus 190. I feel like that line is very validated. Knowing that, like, Hawes isn't really the fastest starter in the world, and let's say he does get Ikram down, he's going to try to control him. Like, Hawes doesn't have bad control wrestling. But the one thing that does concern me about that is if Ikram gets him down and he gets on top, he's going to viciously try to murder him. This guy is relentless, guys. He has been building himself up now. He's been fighting out in Brave He's been fighting in Brave, guys, for 6 years. He's been preparing himself for this. So, and if you go watch the Talenian fight, I mean, oh my God. He didn't let Talenian breathe, and his cardio, Ikram's cardio, I love his cardio too. I just really like him in this spot. I know there's some Hawes backers out there, and I know a lot of sharps who are on Phil Hawes, which just get me a little nervous, but hey, man, we all don't have the same reads. We all see different stuff on tape. That's why it's always good to listen to other people, see what they have to say too. But yeah, we can move on from this fight. Really excited. And the next fight, I have my most units on this fight. I actually gave out a bet earlier on this fight too, and I couldn't even believe the line that they were giving out on this. It's just crazy to me. But here we go. We got the GOAT, Parker Porter, versus Braxton Smith. And, yeah, guys, this fight's a shit show. It's hilarious, and it's my biggest bet fight of the whole entire night. I have the under 1.5 for 0.80 units at minus 135, and I have the fight to end by TKO. Thank you, Bet Rivers. I don't know who's smoking crack in your, whoever makes these lines, but, God, just thank you. Fight to end by TKO minus 132. You gotta be kidding me with this line. Man, Parker Porter has been knocked out in every single one of his losses in the first round. That being 4 times in the first round. And if you guys, if you guys want to just go watch Braxton Smith's 6 fights, it takes 8 minutes out of your day, 8 to 10 minutes. This guy is the definition of kill or be killed. he puts everything into your right hand, but it's like he can throw a 4 to 5 punch combination, and if he connects one, you're gonna go out. And Parker Porter got knocked out really bad, like really bad against Justin Tafa. And guys, that was my worst track bet card ever. I think I went like 2-11 on track bets. I think the one bet I actually hit on that card was Justin Tafa plus 410 first round TKO. What's up, XPL? Glad you're chilling in here. My day's going good, man. Got home from work, smoked a little bit, got a Rain energy drink. I'm chilling, man. Still got some more tape I got to do after, but chilling. Yeah, Parker Porter can get this fight to the ground immediately if he wants to. We know he can. Like, does he decide to? No, he hasn't really decided to at all. They're placing his sub at plus 350, which is really mind boggles me because this guy's not. This guy hasn't gotten a submission. I'm pretty sure in about like what it's been. Let me see. Yeah, 8 years. He got an Americana. He got a submission 8 years ago, guys. An Americana, and it was against Eric Berdard, who is 6-8 and has been submitted 4 times on his professional record. I just feel like Parker Porter can get fucking sparked in the first 30 seconds, or he could take him down, he can get on top, and he could just elbow the hell out of Braxton Smith. I'll tell you guys right now, Braxton Smith's cardio will not be there. He's not going to pace himself. He never has. He probably never will. And the guy knows he has power-ending intentions. And just the picture he posted is absolutely hilarious to me. I mean, the fact that he posted a guy who looks like Parker Porter, but looks like overbloated by like, I would say like 120 pounds past Parker Porter was probably the best picture I've seen all week, and probably the best fight week picture I'll ever see. Straight tears to my eyes. I was dying laughing. But yeah, this fight's violence all over it. The only way I see this fight going into decision is if Parker Porter just lays on him and doesn't do anything. But I mean, if this fight goes to the second round, it might need to cart Braxton Smith out of there. Like, I don't even like. I haven't seen Braxton Smith. I don't even think he's been past the 3-minute mark in a round one. So yeah, I absolutely love violence here. I have 1.8 units invested into this fight for tonight. So yeah, I'm really excited for this fight. The fact, like, congrats. I can't even like really congrats, but you guys did your job getting Parker Porter at dog money or even like lower than minus 140. Please do not bet Parker Porter at minus 180. Please don't do it. You will regret it if he loses, and it's just not worth the sweat at all. But Parker Porter's the GOAT, so hey man, I don't know. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe Parker Porter. I'll tell you right now, Parker Porter, if you fucking finally try to use your submissions in this fight, you'll hear me. You'll hear me from the crowd, man. I don't think you're gonna care, but you'll hear my voice. You'll hear my voice. But let's move on to the next fight. We got Marina Rodriguez versus Verna Janiroba. And yeah, guys, striker versus grappler. Really nothing else to really say here. Janiroba is going to want to get this fight to the ground. She doesn't have good double leg entries at all. Her open mat wrestling sucks. She likes to get you up against the clinch, and really when she's only getting success taking these ladies down is in the Apex Center, and they're not high-level competition whatsoever besides Angela Hill. But the amount of submissions that she was threatening with Hill on the ground just shows the experience and the level of Janiroba's submission game, because it is lethal. But she makes mistakes on the ground. She'll pull guard and she'll lose position, and she'll try to lay down on it. She'll try to get the submission off her back. She'll go for arm bars. She'll go for triangle choke. She's trying to sub hunt you on the ground. And on the other side, like, this is probably, guys, the most like 50-50 fight I would say on the whole entire card. I see a lot. I mean, there are some people who went at me on Twitter like saying that Marina Rodriguez isn't going to be able to get up against Janiroba. It's like, yeah, she might not be able to, but she's never been submitted. She got up against Dern and she beat the shit out of Dern for another 3 rounds after getting back controlled in round 2. Like, Marina Rodriguez has sensational cardio. She has really good striking. she's so she fights so long that I just feel like it's gonna give Gianni Roba a lot of problems trying to close the distance and just trying to get a hold of her and trying to clinch because Rodriguez just does such a good job at maintaining distance. But I think her last closest fight, like against Amanda Lemos grabbed the fence on that takedown, guys, to get her down. She used all her momentum and swung off the fence or other side of the body and just fell on Rodriguez. That was a blatant fence grab. I'm pretty sure I posted it on Twitter. I don't think I did, but I have a video of it on my phone, and I was livid. But Jenny Roba hasn't faced the best strikers, I would say. I mean, the best striker she's faced is Angela Hill, but Amanda Ribas beat the shit out of her on the feet. I mean, Jenny Roba knocked her down at the end of round one. She just had absolutely nothing to give after that. She got beat up. She getting pieced up, man. Almost got out of there with a head kick, Amanda Ribas, in like the last 2.5 minutes of that fight. She kept releasing her hands. She finished with Jenny Roba. I'm on Rodriguez here. I'm on her money line at -145 for a unit. I didn't get the best line. I took her -145 on Sunday, and the line crashed. I was so shocked. Guys, I was so close to doubling down at -125. I was going to add an extra 0.75 units, and I'm going to be like, am I really about to have 1.75 units on Marina Rodriguez? But, like, this is a really good spot for her, man. Jenny Roba's striking is awful, and the Kanko is she's a straight grappler. Mackenzie Dern was winning minutes on the feet, which is concerning. And that was Mackenzie Dern 3 years ago in 2020. So, yeah, Jenny Roba's striking sucks. She is takedown reliant here. If she doesn't get it, she's fucked. It's pretty obvious. I like Rodriguez. I like Rodriguez round 2. And I love the sprinkle on round 3. I'll tell you guys right now, Jenny Roba is having success in the first 2 rounds, and she doesn't get her out of there. She's getting finished in the 3rd round. She is going to get finished in the 3rd round. I think Marina Rodriguez is coming into this fight extremely hungry. I really think she is. She was 1 fight away from getting the title fight, and they gave her Lemos, and she lost. I mean, she was winning the 1st round, but she just lost the fight. Lemos got to her, and kind of questioned the stoppage, but Marina Rodriguez just kind of gave up and put her hands up, really wasn't trying to fight back. Jason Herzog, best referee in the game, so really nothing to just diss Herzog on, but I didn't really agree with that stoppage, and yeah, I really think Rodriguez can make this look so easy, but at the same time, man, if Jenny Roba gets a hold of her and she gets back control on her, Rodriguez is in trouble. So if you guys want to bet Jenny Roba, just bet her by submission. At like plus 500. Like, that line is so crazy to me. If you guys are on Jenny Roba, you better by submission. Could Jenny Roba win a decision? Yeah, but every fight, every round, guys, starts on the feet. And I'm telling you guys now, if she controls it for the first 2 rounds, she's getting sparked in round 3. So my bet here is Marina Rodriguez. I have 1 unit on her at -145. And I'm going to take Marina Rodriguez by round 3 KO. Let's move on to the next fight. What we got here? Nice. We got Chaos Williams versus Ronaldo. Ronaldo's film. I'll tell you guys just one thing about Ronaldo's film, and this is his last 3 fights, guys, has been against people who are over the age of 38 years old. That really just concerns me. I mean, this kid is young. Pretty sure he's like 26. I could be wrong, but this guy is so hittable, man. I hate his striking defense. He relies on his chin. He relies on getting knocked down, trying to come back from losing the fight and to win the fight. You can't do that against Chaos Williams. You can't leave your hands down against Chaos Williams, because if you do and he lands on you, you're more than likely going to go out. And what has just so improved me about Chaos Williams, I thought he won his last fight against Randy Brown. I'm just saying, his jab is just so stiff, man. I mean, when he lands his jab, you just see people grunting, and they're just like they're cringing their face, like they hate it. And Ronaldo, I really feel like this guy isn't UFC level. I'm pretty sure he trains at. I don't even know where he trains. He's coming out of Peru. He's 7-1 in decisions, but it's like his last two fights, man. He was hurt in both of those fights. It really, really concerned me that he's getting hurt against low level guys in their 40s. So Chaos Williams, guys, is 29 years old. He is. I This guy has a lot of potential. And Chaos Williams has been in there with some powerful strikers. I mean, we see how powerful I'm pretty sure Stemlisberger has about 10 knockdowns in the UFC now. So, and he could have knocked down Chaos Williams. Chaos Williams has never been knocked down. He's faced guys like Michelle Pereira. He's faced guys like Stemlisberger. He knocked out Al Hassan in 30 seconds. He knocked out Morono in 27 seconds. And this is just this guy exploding. When you watch Chaos Williams, he just explodes. And when he explodes, and if your hands are down and you don't have a high guard, you're getting knocked the fuck out. And that's probably more than likely what's going to happen here. I'm a little bit sad, though. I parlayed him with Evlov. And come on, Bryce Mitchell. Come on, man. You were a reason why I bought tickets, man. It gets me so agitated. I'm sorry, guys. It just really gets me agitated. But not even the bet. It's just like I was so excited to see that fight. I really wanted to see how that fight was going to play out, especially because it got canceled before and Mitchell backed out the first time and he backed out again. Maybe it's because this guy is too busy raking dirt and like I don't know what he's doing on his farm, but like, dude, like you're more than likely going to make more money in the UFC than you are on a farm. But it's Bryce Mitchell. That's what he decides to do. But yeah, back to this fight. I have Williams parlayed. He's now a straight bet for 0.80 units at -305. So hooray. But I mean, he really should get the job done here, man. I think Williams is parlayable with a lot of things on his card, but just be careful, guys, because Ronaldo doesn't have bad wrestling. I've seen him use his wrestling. He doesn't win a lot of minutes on the ground, but a guy in Chaos Williams who's 6 fights in the UFC and hasn't really seen a grappler or a wrestler, and even seeing Pereira taking his back at the end of round 2 was a little concerning to me because he got his back taken against Michelle Pereira. That is concerning to me. But I don't really think Ronaldo's going to do that. I think he's going to have a hard time closing distance. I think he's going to get hit a couple of times, and he's going to really respect the power, and he's going to realize, like, holy shit, I can't fight the way I fight on the regional scenes against 40-year-olds. But, yeah, this should be really easy for Chaos. He really should get the finish here. It's over under 1.5. I was leaning the over 1.5 before I watched tape. I was going to lay -150. I'm very glad I didn't do that. Because if I watch Ronaldo's film and I think of Chaos Williams and his power, I would have hated that bet. More than likely, probably would have hedged out of it as well. But yeah, let's move on. Pretty sure we're almost at the main card. Yeah, we're almost there. We got Devin Clark versus Kennedy Ndekwani. And I mean, Ndekwani just has, I'm pretty, he's got an 8-inch reach advantage here. I'm pretty sure he's like 5 inches taller. Yeah, I see Devin Clark as a heavy betting dog of the week. I mean, I don't love it. I don't hate it, but Devin Clark is more than likely fucked on the feet. I don't know how he's going to close distance. He's going to have a really hard time closing distance. And what is just so hilarious to me is Devin Clark's dad. I mean, the guy is a character. Best cornerman I've ever heard watching MMA. I mean, this guy is a motivator, man. He like, just watching the Kutalaba fight, it's like if his dad's probably not in the corner, Devin Clark quits that fight more than likely. I don't think Devin Clark would ever quit in front of his dad. Oh, if you guys didn't know, he wants to deadlift 1,000 pounds. Oh, did you guys know that? Because I hear it every single fight. Brendan Fitzgerald, you don't have to say the same shit 300 times, man. Like, we know he wants to deadlift 1,000 pounds. We've heard it 34 times. But, yeah, Ndekwani's volume in round 1 sucks. Very low output. He really lets the fight come to him. And I know Save Sayoud is his coach, and I really like Sayoud as a coach. But I think Ndekwani in 7 UFC fights now, I think he's finally put it all together. But, like, you see people are talking about his wrestling. He could take down Devin Clark. I mean, maybe. But, like, and the only guy this guy has really done it against is Carl Roberson, who's a straight kickboxer out of Glory. So it's like, I mean, and Clark is the wrestler here. Clark pushes the pace, but Devin Clark's chin, I Devin Clark's chin reminds me of Phil Hawes's chin. It's like when you touch him and you touch him hard, he just reacts horribly. But I don't really feel like Indequani is gonna rush for a finish here because he knows Clark because Clark's gonna try to close distance and take him down. And when I watch Indequani on his film, it's like he's not really throwing a lot of power punches. He's just really trying to touch you. He's trying to maintain range. He uses his reach and his height as an advantage for the division, as he should. And if he really learns how to use all that stuff, this guy's a problem. He's a problem, and he's young. 30 years old at Fortis. I mean, this guy's young, man. He's got the metrics. He's currently ranked 18 in light heavyweight, so it's like more than likely if he gets a really good performance here, they're probably going to rank him. But Devin Clark is a dog. He's gonna fight for your money. The Mirzakhano's left hand is just absolutely vicious. I might like, and we just saw what Mirzakhanov did to Dustin Jacoby. I know that shocked a lot of people. It didn't shock me though. I had Mirzakhanov by KO, and yeah, we got our chances, but yeah, man, what are you gonna do? It was plus 360. I love the value there. He almost knocked him out 3 times in that fight. Where's you got like 2 knockdowns? Devin Clark's last 2 wins, like Jung's a straight boxer. He's so flat-footed. Jung's movement is fucking awful. Jung doesn't move on his feet. He just stands there. He throws no kicks at all either. The guy's pretty physically strong in the clinch, but it's like I don't know. I don't rate Jung that high. And William Knight, we know William Knight, please. William Knight, oh my. And his win before William Knight, like Alonzo Menafield, Daquan Townsend, these wins suck. And I really just feel like Indequani can win however he decides to. It's just is he gonna want to fight? I don't know. Is he gonna be scared? I don't know. I mean, this is a big fight for him. So yeah, I was thinking about kind of the inside the distance. Then I was thinking about the over 1.5. Then I wanted to parlay the fight starts round 2. But I'm not really here for a full bet read on this fight. But I mean, picking the win, I'm picking Nzekwani. He can win by KO. He can win by decision. He can get a club and sub. I don't know how this guy's gonna win, but I'm picking him to win this fight. But if you guys bet Devin Clark, the one thing you'll get out of Devin Clark is grit and a dog. And that's what Devin Clark is. And Devin Clark's striking recently has looked like it's gotten better. And he could mix in that left high head kick here and really sneak it under the, maybe I would say a little bit under the guard of Indequani because he keeps his hands high, man. And that body's going to be open as well. And the last thing I'm going to say about this fight is the fact that what Indequani does when he gets hurt and he goes up against the fence and he just holds his hands up. I hate that. I hate it so much. I don't like when a fighter's doing that. So yeah, I'm gonna take Indequani to win by decision, but we can move on. Oh yes, Matt Frivola versus Drew Dober, man. Frivola, Long Island native, baby. Long Island represent. And we got Drew Dober. I mean, Drew Dober. Drew Dober's chin is granite, man. The fact that he ate that left hook from Aldez and just didn't even move was crazy to me. And my look on this fight was the over 1.5. And then I realized, I'm like, well, Frivola's now basically one fight before the main card. And this guy gets carried away in there, man. He brawls. I just don't know if he wants to brawl with Drew Dober, man. Frivola's got power. He has pretty good movement, but man, like when you guys watch his tape and you see him in the bad striking exchanges of when he's brawling, he's so open to being hit. He's been knocked out, I'm pretty sure, in let me go with this Tapology quick. Yeah, he's been knocked out twice in 3 of his losses. And both of them were in round 1. I can't get over the Polo Reyes knockout. I mean, holy shit, man. I understand it was his debut, but it's a terrible look. And it's like Jalen Turner. Jalen Turner didn't have he had a game that he could get exposed. So went to the takedowns against a tall and lengthy guy. He felt an advantage there. Almost got submitted about 3 times, but he grinded out of the decision there. Luis Pena won a decision. Luis Pena, very low volume on the feet, likes to just be kick heavy, start the outside. So that wasn't really that. It wasn't a bad win, but I mean, when you look at Drew Dober, Luis Pena is not Drew Dober. Trezoukian on short notice, can't be mad at that at all. Terrence McKinney in 7 seconds is a minus 200 favorite, concerning as hell, but we know how Terrence McKinney is now. I mean, Lord. Knocked down Valdez 6 times. And the Zaitar win was impressive too. And looked really good on the feet. His counters was so on point. But when you guys watch the Zaitar try to close the distance, he was closing distance early. His timing and everything just looked off. And guys, that was because Zaitar hasn't fought in about 2 years prior to that. So pretty sure he had a horrific weight cut as well. But there are no excuses when you're in the octagon. But yeah, man, I want to bet the fight to end by TKO at minus 160. I don't hate it, but I think Drew Dober's takedown defense is not. 55% is not great, but the only guy who's ever controlled him for more than 300 seconds in a cage is Islam Makhachev. So. And Fervala is not controlling people. He hasn't shot a takedown in 4 fights. So it's like, yeah, he trains with Marab. Yeah, he trains with Sterling. He's been training with them for this whole camp. But it's like, is he going to use it? I don't know, man. He gets carried away in there. But if he does, he is so live here. He opened plus 285. I wish I got in at that line because I definitely would have sprinkled some money on him. But I see a heavy prop this week. A famous prop is Fervala by decision. I don't hate it. I was gonna play his decision only because if he does win a decision and it's not him winning and on the feet, it's him winning it in the wrestling. And if it goes to decision, and Drew Dober doesn't have, if this goes to decision, Drew Dober's gonna have at least 2 or 3 knockdowns, I think, by the end of the fight. Drew Dober's power is sensational. To take a guy out like Bobby Green, whose last knockout loss was Dustin Poirier like 7 years ago, that's a sensational finish in my mind. But and I think I think Fervala's tougher than Riddell. I think it's because I just really love Fervala. But I really want to pick Fervala to win. I'm not doing him dirty. I'm going to pick Fervala to win this fight by decision. But Matt, if you want to win this fight, if you want to prove something to us. Because if you knock out Drew Dober, you'll be the second person to ever do it. But man, this is such a bar burner, man. I love this fight, and they're all over violence. I did not think they were going to open the fight and go at minus 275 because that line is just I can't parlay that line. I think it ends, but I'm not paying minus 275 for the fight doesn't go here. But I'm gonna pick Fervala. I'm going to pick Steamroller, represent Long Island. Picking him because Long Island represent. Picking him to win by decision. I can move on, finally, at the main card, which, oh, man. Let me just get a quick sip of my rain quick. That's nice. Now, on the main card, we got Charles Jourdain versus the return of Kron Gracie. Man. Went back, watched Gracie versus Cub Swanson. Didn't even know anything about Kron Gracie because I'm still new to MMA. I've only been really watching MMA for a year now, and I've been betting it for 8 months now. But Gracie's jiu-jitsu is sensational. This guy takes your back and fucked. Is so strong in the body clinch. His body triangle is vicious. It's like he has such power in his legs that it's like he's suffocating you in that body triangle with his legs. And then it's like he puts all that pressure and focus onto your neck. And just when he wraps your neck, it's game over. People tap so quickly, they don't want to be in that rear naked choke. On the other side, but Kron Gracie walks like a zombie. He was eating so many shots against Cub Swanson that the toughness was just amazing to me. L crowd on that fight, though. Very L crowd, man. But Charles Jourdain, we know what the situation is with Charles Jourdain. Slow starter. Guy's cardio is terrific. Comes in round 2, round 3 like an absolute killer. Um, got back controlled against Shane Burgos, and takedowns were very easy for Shane Burgos, which I didn't like because they were on back takes, and he won about like 7.5 minutes of back control. He didn't get submitted by Burgos, but Burgos is like training in a Muay Thai gym. He's not really preparating on grappling like Gracie, and he's not on Gracie's level in grappling. Choked out Venata out of his shorts. Not finishing Andre Ewell a little bit concerned me, but I feel like Ewell's toughness really did show in that fight. That Spartan kick at the end was crazy, man. I can't get over that Spartan kick. But Charles Jourdain, man, I've counted up the times that he's given up his back in his last 3 fights. And if you guys have money on him, I probably would not want to hear it. But I counted 10 times that he's given up his back in the last 3 or 4 fights. He does that here, he's done. He's done. He's gonna lose a round, or he's either gonna get submitted. Charles Jourdain's a black belt, but I mean, does that even matter when you're facing Gracie? Because you're not on Gracie's level as a black belt. I will tell you that, Charles Jourdain, you are not. But what you are though is the way better striker. Charles Jourdain's speed is scary. He is so fast for 145, and I feel like the speed and the power might be a lot for Gracie to handle. And fight doesn't go as minus 280. If I'm more than likely parlaying it, I don't see this fight going to decision. I don't. I don't at all. I was considering fight doesn't start round 3, but it's like Charles Jourdain can get the 3rd round finish as well. But yeah, this fight's violence. I mean, they have this fight to open the main card for a reason, man. The UFC knows what they're doing here, but Gracie is so live in round 1. He is so live because Charles Jourdain starts slow, and when Charles Jourdain gets close and he tries to close the distance and Gracie gets a hold of him, Gracie's gonna go for that back right away. Yeah, violence all day here. And another prop that stuck out that I might bet, but I don't know, is Gracie first round only. It's like plus 140 on DraftKings. I'm a little shocked with that line because if Gracie's gonna get him down in any round, it's gonna be round 1. And if he gets the back in round 1, I mean, it's more than likely gonna be over for Charles Jourdain. And what was just so weird about Gracie tweeting today is that he doesn't want 15-minute fights anymore in MMA. And I'm like, dude, why are you talking about this after a 3-year layoff? And you're fighting a guy who could potentially fight like 10 fucking rounds of MMA. I don't like that look at all. But what I love is violence. I'm gonna pick Charles Jourdain to win this fight by KO. He could spark him, man. Charles Jourdain, I think, is like in Zaquani. Questions himself a lot, but if this guy doesn't question himself and his cardio, his pace, his speed, his power. I mean, this guy is an animal. He has everything to be a killer. It's just him fighting mentally, where he blocks that out of his mind. Maybe listens to his coaches. I don't know what the issue is with him in round 1. It's like when he fights round 2 and round 3, a light just switches in his head. But yeah, I'm taking violence. I'm taking Charles Jourdain by round 2 knockout. Now, Evila versus Diego Lopez. Guys, I'm pretty sure that's how you say his name. Guys, I know nothing about this Diego guy. I'm gonna be quite honest with you guys. This fight got put on yesterday. I'm pretty sure it was around like 4:30, 5 o'clock. I was so mad. I was so angry. But I mean, I think Evilov's gonna wrestle him. Obviously, sounds like the most casual breakdown ever. But I didn't do any tape on this Diego guy. I'm sorry, guys. I don't really know a lot about him. I'm on his Tapology right now, and I'm looking that he does have 11 submission wins and 8 knockouts. Wow. He's only been to 2 wow. 2 wins by decision. He lost 3 times by decision. He's been knocked out twice. Oh, this is a guy I know, Nate Richardson. Oh man, he went to a split with Nate Richardson. Oh, that's oh, and he lost that fight too. Oh man. Yee. Um, I don't even know who these guys are, guys. Like Angel Rodriguez, he is a round two knockout over him. His last six fights, he went to a decision with Joanderson Brito, which that's a really good decision win. But I just feel like Evolov is. I'm probably gonna bet Evolov inside the distance because I don't really know about this Diego kid. There's not even props out for this fight yet, though. I don't even think there's a line out for this fight yet, but I think they're going to open Evolov like minus 700. I mean, they are not going to let anyone parlay Evolov. If Evolov was minus 275 against Bryce Mitchell, I can only imagine what he's going to be in this fight. He might be a bigger line than what Romanov was against Chase Sherman. Like, we don't know. Evolov's been hurt on his feet though. He got hurt by Dawodu bad in that round three after he was pouring the pace on him. But Evolov's a good striker, man. He moves nice on the feet. He throw the body kicks and the sound when he lands the body kicks are just so they're so it's just so fun to watch Evolov fight. I'm glad that he's still on the card that I get to watch him, but man, Bryce Mitchell pulling out just sucks, man. I was really looking forward to my bet. I was really looking forward to that fight. But yeah, this really should be Evolov all day. I mean, if you guys like parlaying every fight and you guys like parlaying minus 900s, minus 1,000s, I don't recommend anyone to ever do that because you're not making too much money when you do that. But if you guys are like that, anything minus 1,000 I don't consider safe. But it really should be here. Diego could probably if Diego's gonna get anything, it could be a subbing guard. I think like off his back. I mean, maybe the Diego sub if it's like over plus 2,000 might just take a $5 shot on it and track it and just like hope that he gets something in guard because we're gonna have chances for it. But yeah, really nothing for me on this fight. Evolov, maybe Evolov inside the distance. He might be able to get it done here, but the guy's really not a finisher, and he really isn't a submission guy either. So yeah, I'm just gonna pick Evolov by decision. Oh my bad, guys. We can move on though to Jessica Andrade versus Jan, and yeah, it's like same fight here. Like a lot of people are on Jan. Completely understand why. Jan is great movement. She's a pretty good striker. She throws really good inside leg kicks. She did it a lot against Dern, and she used it really well against a long, lengthy girl in Marina Rodriguez. But man, the power of the power discrepancy here is just so obvious. Jan has been facing Angela Hill, doesn't have a lot of power. Kolakevich, who has one knockout on her career. Claudia, who has two knockouts on her career in like 22 fights. Carla Esparza, who took her down pretty easy and got her out of there. But and I know Esparza's wrestling, it's elite. But like, if you guys look at the wrestling of what's Jessica Andrade, it's pure physicality. She explodes into double legs. She's more than likely going to try it. She's going to hold Jan down if she does try to take her down. Jessica Andrade is an absolute killer. I mean, her last three losses, guys, are to Erin Blanchfield, where she took that on, like, I'm pretty sure it was like 2 weeks' notice. I could be wrong. I had Blanchfield inside the distance in that spot. Read that spot very well. Valentina Shevchenko and Rose and Zhang. So it's like she's losing to the best competition, and her last two losses are against wrestlers. Jan isn't a wrestler. She doesn't have the physicality of Shevchenko. She doesn't have the physicality of Erin Blanchfield. And she more certainly does not have the wrestling and grappling skills of them. But what she does have is very good movement. And that is her key to winning this fight. Stay the fuck away from Jessica Andrade. She's going to get knocked out. Guys, I think Andrade should start her. I really do. I wanted to parlay Andrade, but I don't parlay minus 200 women MMA favorites. I can't do it. So I bet Andrade by KO slash decision for 0.75 units on FanDuel at minus 115. Line really, really is just, I think it's a terrific line. I was talking to Couch Warrior about this. Couch Warrior is like, yeah, well, what if she goes to the takedowns here? And oh no, not Couch Warrior. I was talking to DFS by the numbers about this. And Brady was like, yeah, but she can go to the takedown route here. It's like, yeah, she completely can, but she's really not submission threat when she's on top. She's more gonna go to her elbows if anything. But yeah, if Jan's getting elbowed and top mount and she turns over and Jessica Andrade is gonna hunt for the sub, it could happen. But I mean, all day, I think it's really Andrade on the feet. To beat Andrade, you need respect, power, and physicality. I just don't think Jan has that. What Jan does have is a dog in her, but where is that going to get you fighting Andrade when you aren't really physically going to outstrengthen her? And she now has had 3 months to make this cut down back to 115, where she's probably at her best. So yeah, I'm betting. I bet Andrade already, and I just think this is a terrific spot for her. But I completely understand because if Jan slows her movement down and she lands those inside leg kicks early and she limits that forward pressure of Andrade might be in some pretty big shit here. But I just feel like she's gonna get no respect. I feel like the leg kicks, they're not thunderous. They're just tapping leg kicks to kind of get points for the judges. But man, if the judges are going to score anything in this fight, it's going to be power, it's going to be physicality, and it's going to be the pressure. So I think Andrade is 3-3, and this Jan is 0-3 compared to Andrade and those things. So I think the power, the pressure, and the power of the shots is going to be the main thing for the judges. And I think Andrade can spark her early. So yeah, Andrade's KO decision minus 115, I think is an absolute steal of the line on FanDuel, and it's still there. And I think it moves before the fight because I think that pricing the sub at plus 460, she got a standing choke. When are we ever really gonna see that again? Like it's like even with her takedown, she's not really hunting subs. She's just hunting to control you and elbow you on top. Because Andrade is vicious. So Andrade's by KO decision, minus 115. I'm gonna pick Andrade to win this fight by knockout. And hot take, I'm gonna pick Andrade round 1 KO. I'm gonna pick her round 1, and her round 1 KO is plus 900 on DraftKings. I mean, that's just hilarious to me. But because that's when she has her most power. And which last thing I'm gonna say, the Lauren Murphy fight, guys, she threw 336 strikes. She threw 336 strikes, and I'm pretty sure Brazil is in type elevation. If I could be wrong. But yeah, guys, she threw 336 strikes. She's not tiring out here. So I don't know why people are saying Andrade's going to tire out here because she's not going to tire out here. But we can move on. And so I don't know why. Maybe it's just me, but maybe it's just this 5-round fight that I'm more hyped for than instead of getting a 3-round fight. But yeah, I'm so hyped for this fight, man. Gilbert Burns to save the day again. I love this guy, man. I mean, this guy is so active. He's so committed to his wording, saying he's going to fight anyone in the division, any place, anytime, anywhere. He's just like, give me weeks to train and I'll fight you. And he's doing that here, and he's fighting Bilal Muhammad. Great fight here, man. I mean, so high level. Honestly, I'm gonna be quite honest with you guys. I think this is the winner is gonna get Covington versus Edwards. But guys, I like Bilal here. I just feel like Gilbert Burns is doing a lot on his body, coming back in such short time after going through such a he said the camp that he had with Masvidal was tough. If you guys follow Gilbert Burns on Twitter, follow him on Instagram, he is so active. He is like, when he's posting himself cutting, man, he looks like he's brutalizing himself. And it's like, I don't know how much he's brutalizing himself to make weight here and to fight Bilal Muhammad. But it's like, I know Bilal is taking this fight on short notice as well. But I mean, guys, go to Bilal's Instagram. He's been actively training for months. And his last camp was with Khabib Nurmagomedov and all the Dagestanian wrestlers. I don't really see Gilbert Burns' wrestling being such a big part in this fight. Bilal Muhammad, 91% takedown defense, 41 attempts. You cannot get an any better stat than that. Gilbert Burns, on the other hand, he's only seen 23 takedowns, and I'm pretty sure it's about how many fights on Tapology? It's 20 UFC fights, guys. 20 UFC fights. This guy has only seen 23 takedowns. That just shows the high level of Gilbert Burns, and no one wants to be on the ground with him. And I just really think that, like, below Muhammad's pace, I think he could cage push Burns. I think he can get into close boxing range with Burns. But one thing Bilal's got to be careful is it's the power. Burns was loading a lot on Jorge, and he hit Jorge with some good shots, but Jorge was eating them. I know Jorge has a good chin, but I also rate Bilal's chin not bad. Bilal has improved a lot. You guys watch him back from like the last time he's been knocked out by Luque, which was, I mean, I keep seeing this video. Oh, wait, I think it's funny because I know a lot of people think Bilal Muhammad is cringe. So I mean, I laugh at it because I mean, I have a sense of humor, but I know there's a lot of salty people out there who are just like, yo, like, stop showing this shit. It happened 7 years ago, but it's like, that's what the Bilal haters have on him. So they're going to keep posting it. But, yeah, guys, the Luque fight impressed the hell out of me. His striking and the Luque fight looked great, man. He was walking a guy like Luque down, and like who has ever walked Vicente Luque down like that the way Bilal Muhammad did? Even in the Sean Brady fight, man, I mean, holy shit, the pace that Bilal Muhammad pushed on him, cashed on him in that fight. I cashed on him as a dog in the Luque fight. I cashed on him as a dog against Thompson. I might go to the bread and butter here, man. I am really talking myself into it right now. Just because like Burns against Chimaev is ridiculous. That fight is probably one of the best 170 fights I've ever seen. Especially for a 3-round fight. I mean, holy shit. First pay-per-view back in front of a crowd on a main card, and a fight like that happens. This is why you gotta love UFC, man. But like it's like Neil Magny doesn't have good takedown defense. Neil Magny took a huge step up. As soon as I mean, Gilbert Burns was like minus 520 in that fight. After the Chimaev performance. But and then it's like he comes and he beats Masvidal, who wasn't really there mentally, was promoting his game bred boxing promotion, had his wife and kids there. He knew he was fucked. He knew he was losing. So he's like, yeah, I'm done. But great career for Masvidal. But it's like, that was a month ago, and Burns said he put himself through hell in that camp. I don't know how he's going to come into this fight, man. If he comes in looking as he looked against Chimaev, this is going to be a close fight. But Bilal Muhammad's pace, his pressure, his boxing has looked so much better. Training with Nurmagomedov for the last camp, I mean, when his wrestling has already looked great before that, and now he's training with the Dagestanian guys, it's like, holy shit, man. Bilal is all for it. And I'm all for Bilal Muhammad. I'm a Bilal Muhammad fan, guys. I really like Bilal Muhammad. And this guy just continually keeps getting slept on as a dog because people hate him. I don't even think the bookies hate him. I just think people hate him. I really feel like that's why he's plus money every fight. But yeah, I'm picking Bilal Muhammad to win this fight. And there's a bet that guys, I don't put half units on plus 1200s, but I'm going to this card. I'm gonna do it. I'll probably do it piss fucking drunk when I'm at the card. But man, Muhammad round 3, round 4, round 5 knockout. The last time I saw it, I'm gonna pull it up quick. It was plus 1300 on FanDuel, which is crazy to me because Burns has never even been 5 rounds, and I know Muhammad is gonna have the better cardio, especially when Burns fought last month and had the camp of his life and had the hardest camp of his life. What he's saying. Pulling it up now. I'm not trying to take too long here, but yeah, it's plus 1200 now. So low monies came in on it. It was plus 1300 last time I saw it. I still might bet it. I mean, I think Bilal's pace is gonna crush this guy, man, and I think he can mix in the takedowns. The fact that Burns has only seen 23 takedowns in in 20 UFC fights is crazy to me, but I can completely understand why he hasn't. His sprawls are terrific. I mean, he has really great grappling, but no, man, I'm a Bilal Muhammad fan, and I want to believe that Bilal Muhammad wins this fight. And I'm probably gonna bet him. He might be one of my last bets of the card. No, I might bet him like literally like I might try to see where this line goes on Friday afternoon or Saturday morning before I start drinking for this card. But yeah, guys, we finally made it after an hour of you guys sitting here listening to my annoying ass talk about all these fights. We finally made it to the main event. We got Aljamain Funk Sterling versus Henry Cejudo, and man, Henry Cejudo back after 3 years. I went through I watched so many fights of Cejudo. I watched Cejudo's last 6 fights. Um, Sterling, I don't know. Guys, I love Long Island. I mean, but I think this is Cejudo. I really do think this is Cejudo. The openings that Sterling wants to be taken down. He wants to close distance. He fights so unorthodox on the feet. The way he moves, the way he throws his head kicks, the way he sticks out his jab, he leaves so many openings on the feet that, like, if you throw a fast combination, you're more likely going to hit this guy. But he's waiting for you to overload so he can clinch you up and take your back and ride you up against the fence. That's why people don't like closing the distance against Sterling. But it's like Henry Cejudo, his wrestling. I mean, this guy's an Olympic gold medal. I mean, this guy, his sprawls are ridiculous. I watched the Demetrius Johnson fight. The sprawls are ridiculous in that fight. It was just mind-boggling to me. And I watched him against Cruz. He beat the shit out of Cruz. Moraes death gassed. I mean, I was so shocked that, like, Marlon. Oh my god. The fact that Henry Cejudo probably had one of the more easier fights to unify the title was I mean, maybe Marlon Moraes used to be a killer, but when I look at Marlon Moraes now, and I'm like, wow, I mean, Henry Cejudo should have won that fight all day, and he did. He dominated him. And then TJ Dillashaw in 30 seconds. It's like this guy has so much pop in his hands. He has a lot of power. He throws heavy when he explodes, and I've seen Sterling Hearn in his last 3 fights, man. And Sterling's jiu-jitsu is just next level. I don't think Cejudo has seen anything of like Sterling's jiu-jitsu at the UFC level because people aren't really getting a hold of him. So we really haven't seen Cejudo in that type of position. And I think we might see him in that position here. But I bet the fight doesn't go. I like violence here. I bet it at plus 110. And I also bet Cejudo round 3, 4, 5 KO at plus 950. I've seen Sterling Hearn in his last 3 fights, all in the late rounds. He kind of has a trouble of pacing himself because he just this movement that he is nonstop moving in there, man. I mean, I love it and all. Don't get me wrong, but it's like at some point you just got to stand in a kickboxing stance and you got to stand at ranges that are moving so unorthodox. Like, if Henry tries to take him down, Sterling is going to do anything in his power to try to submit him in any type of position and sprawl. Sterling has great sprawls too. It's not Henry Cejudo's sprawl level, but I just really feel like Sterling is sprawling to get in a jiu-jitsu submission position as Cejudo's really trying to get you in control time. On the feet, it's close too. I mean, Cejudo is returning after 3 years, guys, and he's 36 now. So it's like, I don't know. I'm picking Cejudo to win here. I think he can knock out Aljamain. I really do. But I think Sterling can submit Cejudo as well. That's why I bet violence here. I feel like the stylistic fight for violence here is great. I don't feel like a lot of people are on it. I feel like a lot of people are just thinking this fight goes to decision because both are so durable. And it's like, yeah, well, Sterling's not going to get him down. Cejudo's just going to maintain distance. It's going to be pretty hard for Cejudo to maintain distance. I mean, the guy is at a 7-inch reach disadvantage here. So I feel like, and also to fight a guy like Sterling off a 3-year layoff, I don't know, man. There's just so many things that I like about violence here. Like, I could see Sterling submitting him. I could see Sterling gassing late. I could see Cejudo really pouring on the pressure. I could see Cejudo trying to close distance early, getting in his face, not trying to let Sterling get him up against the fence, which is Cejudo does have really good movement. has good leg kicks. But if we saw what Demetrius Johnson did, man, he kicked that lead leg and he kicked it bad. But Cejudo didn't show a lot of weakness on that leg when the fight was happening. So it's like, yeah, I don't know how he's going to react to these shots after a 3-year layoff, but it's like Sterling doesn't really hit that hard. Most of the stuff that he's trying to hit you with is to tap you and like kind of like break you down. But this is a great fight. Such a great card. Thank you for whoever tuned in. I didn't even announce that I was going live. I didn't even realize that I was live. So yeah, this is the first ever live breakdown that I did on my YouTube channel. And yeah, thank you for whoever tuned in. And guys, I can't say more than enough. I am so excited for this card because I'm going to it. But like, even if I wasn't going to it, this is just like such an upgrade to what we've gotten in these last 2 weeks. And guys, I looked at the next 2 weeks of fights. We're in for such good cards. I love it. So yeah, I think the bad cards are past us now. UFC 288 is going to be so fun. I can't wait to meet up with all the other cappers. I can't wait to meet up with my followers on Twitter. I can't wait to meet up with people who just want to meet up in general. I'm ready to drink some beers. I'm ready to get high. I'm ready for anything, man. I'm always down. Not down for some weird shit, but like, oh man, I'm down to drink. I'm down to smoke. I mean, if you guys are going to UFC 288, let me know in this comment section down below. Like, I will definitely meet up with you. I'm going with my boy MMA Mushroom Philly. If you guys don't know Mushroom Philly, Section 3 guys balled out on the tickets. I really wanted to get good seats, so I said screw it. I'm gonna drop a shit ton of money. It's just a really good card, and this is when Charles Oliveira was on it. So once I saw Oliveira was on there, and once I saw pre-sale tickets, I stopped what I was doing at work, took like 20 minutes, took like a little 20-minute break, and just paid for those tickets, man, on pre-sale. And regardless of losing that fight, this is just a great card. I'm so glad that the UFC decided to put Bilal Muhammad versus Gilbert Burns on this card. I really am, because they really did save the card here. Yeah, I'm just seeing the comments now. I'm sorry, Moist. You bet Frivola by decision at plus 450. That's probably his path to victory. I don't mind that at all. And Tiny 6x9 saying I can't do it. Sterling is just too big for that class. Yeah, he is, man. He has a lot of good metrics in this weight class, and like he looked really good against Jan too, man. I had him plus 340 against Jan and had the Sterling submission as well. I was really close, but cashing the Sterling money line was nice there. But I'm really shocked also with the price of the line on this fight too. Like I completely understand why it's pick'em, but man, I feel like just any side you're on is value. I personally am not really leaning a money line on this fight. I'm leaning violence, but as I said, if I leaned a money line, I would lean Cejudo, and I agree with you. I kind of disagree with you, Tiny 6x9, but I mean, I'm never always right. So yeah, yeah, I also want Sterling to win too, as I'm a New Yorker. I also want Sterling to win, but yeah, yeah, it definitely is. It's definitely the best value you'll get on either guy, especially right now. I'll check what the line is right now. I'm still live right now. Let me just reload Best Fight Odds real quick. Best Fight Odds has been so crappy. If you guys are using Best Fight Odds, use Fight Odds, fightodds.io. That's what I've been using recently these past 3 weeks. So yeah, Best Fight Odds just really has not been loading recently. But yeah, it's Pick'em. Wow, Sterling's minus 105. Wow. Whew. If you guys like either side, I mean, but their money lines are both intriguing. Sorry, I can't bet a money line here, man. I feel like I could possibly pick the wrong guy here. I'm just really hyped to see this fight in person, man. I really am. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for this card. UFC 288. We broke down all the fights with my predictions, and I gave you guys the bets that I have so far. I'm gonna go over them real quick. I'm gonna start doing this at the end of my breakdowns now. I'll go over the bets that I have for now. And I will be linking my Twitter where I post all my bets, and I'll be linking my Discord, and I'll be linking the both of those things so you guys can have full access to my bets. I'll also link my Bet MMA Tips account. My Bet MMA Tips is free. I don't charge anyone for pick, guys. I don't charge anyone for my breakdowns. I don't charge anyone for my picks. I want us all to make money. I hate bookies. I mean, I hate them. They sit behind computers and laugh when they generate odds. So I just want to make their lives hell, man. So I really tried doing all my work early and getting all this best line movement so we can all just laugh at these bookies when we beat the line and when we cash our tickets. But oh wait, let me just read what you're saying. You did a 3-shot legger with Zal, Gracie, and Oz. Whew. Well, that would be a nice payout, man. I'm rooting for you, man. And yeah, man. Good luck to you, bro. Good luck to you too. I'm just gonna go over my bets real quick. And then I'm gonna end the video. So I got Marina Rodriguez at -145 for a unit. I got Zaglas Zamagulov at +160 for 0.40 units. I got Daniel Santos money line at -147 for 1 unit. And this is an untracked bet that I have so far. I'm probably not going to track it because I didn't give it out to you guys on Twitter, and I feel terrible because I completely spaced out and forgot and bet it absolutely high as shit. So I got the under 2.5 in that fight for 0.50 units at +122. The line is significantly moved now. I would not really parlay that under 2.5. I wouldn't even probably bet the fight doesn't go. I probably would just parlay Santos if you guys really like Santos. I have Ikram to finish out a parlay at -113 for 0.61 units. I have the Parker Porter versus Braxton Smith under 1.5 at -135 for 0.80 units. I have the fight doesn't go in the main event for 0.60 units at +110. I got Carl Williams money line straight bet. Thank you, Bryce Mitchell. Go fuck yourself. Sorry. At -305.80 units. That's just going to be, I mean, if Williams loses that fight, I'm just going to be so angry. Then I also got Andrade to win by KO or decision for 0.75 units at -115. And the last bet that I have for so far that I recently threw on my Twitter is probably my favorite bet on the whole entire card and might go heavier on it, is the Parker Porter versus Braxton Smith fight to end by KO at -132, which is just an absolutely stupid line. But yeah, thank you for you guys tuning in live. It was unexpected. I shocked myself when I realized I was live. I saw Moist was commenting in the in the comment section. I'm like, holy shit, I'm live. So I did kick in right after he commented. But yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in. Let's make this money. UFC 288 should be a great card. Thank you guys for tuning in. Drop a like, drop a comment in the comment section below. I'm going to be linking my Bet MMA tips. I'm going to be linking my Twitter, and I'm going to be linking my Discord where I post all of my bets so you guys can beat all this early line movement with me. And so you guys just don't have to do film as well. I try to do the film for people who don't want to do film because film is a lot. Film is a lot, but I love it, man. I love every second doing my film besides when I have to film shitty fights, obviously. But yeah, guys, good luck to everyone on this card. Hope to see you guys there at 288. If you guys are going, once again, leave a comment in the comment section below and hit me up on Twitter because I'm going to be linking my Twitter as well in the description. So, yeah, guys, if you guys want to get some beers, you guys want to smoke before the card, down, man. I'll be there. So, yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in once again. Drop a like, drop a comment in the comment section below. Make sure you guys are following me at MMA_Propaholic on Twitter. And peace out, guys.